Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the QuackCast, brought to you by the SLIIT FOSS Community in collaboration with the SLIIT Women in FOSS and the Mozilla Campus Club of SLIIT. So I'm Sayuru and apologies as we are connecting to you, coming through live from our homes. But this is a very special topic today, and for a special topic, we have a special guest. So the topic today is agentic AI or introduction to agentic AI, I would say. And to talk about this, we have sort of a person, a very good friend of mine, and he's one of the people that we usually go to when we have questions regarding LLMs and machine learning or whatever it is that it related to that area. So he's also an undergraduate of SLIIT, graduating very soon. And please welcome Sulakna Veerasinghe. Sulakna, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
So,
nice, very nice. Thanks for having me.
how are you? How's it going?
It's going all right. I would say I'm pretty excited to do this with you guys, and yeah, and I recently actually got my first job offer from
Uh,
Zillione. Yeah, yeah,
Congratulations, yeah.
yeah.
So,
It's all good, all good.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about your position. Do you
Yeah,
know anything
so
about it?
I'll be joining Zillione as the associate data and AI engineer. It's coming
Mm-hmm.
week. It's literally
Okay.
Monday. Yeah, pretty excited.
Okay. Cool. Congratulations on that. So today's topic is very interesting, by the way. So it's introduction to agentic AI. So I've heard
Yeah.
there's a huge hype around this, and even in my company, we are trying to incorporate a sort of shift towards that way. I would say we trying to integrate LLMs and do all this AI stuff. And I'm sure most of the companies in the industry are moving towards that direction. So, can you give us an introduction? So, why did you want to talk about this today?
Yeah, so basically, as you mentioned, there's a big hype going around, and right now, AI agents, MCPs, those are all huge buzzwords around
Yeah.
companies. And some companies actually do have clients to projects to build AI agents, but others are just, FOMO, just having the fear of missing out on this new
Yeah.
tech
Yes.
leap. So yeah, so why there is a hype actually? So basically, we already had LLMs and ChatGPT, Copilots, and all this stuff a while back, yeah.
Hmm.
And then this thing came where autonomy was a huge thing because what if ChatGPT can do tasks for us? Like, what if
Hmm.
it could be our own personal assistant? For example,
Yeah.
think you are the CEO of a company
Hmm.
and you need assistance just to do some menial tasks like book a hotel, book a
Hmm.
restaurant, book a
Right.
client meeting, stuff like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
So basically, just one phrase to the through the keyboard, and the AI agents could take care of it for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's where it lies very important these days.
So, if we think about it in real world scenario, I know you covered, gave me an example for it. So
Yeah.
basically, you can use agentic AI to sort
Mm.
of automate workflows in businesses. That's what
Yeah.
you're trying to say.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. So we have tools for that, right? I mean, we have, I think, LangChain is one tool, but
Yeah.
is that agentic AI or GPT? If you take, for example, is that agentic AI?
Uh, you are close.
Yeah.
It's a bit borderline actually.
Hmm.
If we talk about LangChain, it's actually a framework for building agentic AIs and
Hmm.
RAGs and those stuff. So the important question that you asked was GPT. Yeah.
Yeah, GPT.
So GPT can be made into a agentic AI, can be made into a AI agent. So
Right.
that is to make that into AI agent is where we use LangChain.
Okay.
So to basically make a AI agent, we can use models LLMs, and give them permission to act upon tasks towards a end goal.
Okay. Okay.
So
Mm,
that's it. So like for example, if I take a real world scenario,
mm,
let's go with booking a hotel.
mm.
Yeah, how would you like typically book a hotel? Just
So you
go.
could go to the booking.com. You can go to booking.com or
Yeah.
Airbnb or whatever it is, and you can,
Mhm.
do the reservation. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think with Agentic AI, it's much easier, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. So for let's say you have to go through booking.com, you
Mm,
have to scroll, you have to search for dates, and you have to see if there's discounts, because we
yeah.
actually go look
For
for
your
those.
discounts,
And
yeah.
yes. And we have to see availability.
Yeah.
And what else we have to see, there are features that we need. For example, like
Mm,
sometimes we look for more, since this is a tropical country, we look for
mm,
pools most of the time, if there are pools and stuff,
mm,
and if there's wi-fi, if there's other recreational
yeah.
activities that can be done in the hotel. So those stuff, it's for, let's say for us it's all right because we have time on our hands. But let's say for a busy person, a business person, and he wants to book a family vacation next week, and he's
Mm,
actually busy with work.
yeah.
This is where agents shine. Actually, this is where AI agents shine. These
Mm,
AI agents can be configured in a way
mm,
to do this all manual clicks by themselves. So
right.
basically, when we say, okay, let's say I want to go to Sigiri and book Sigiri village for the next week, 2 days, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that I can
Yeah.
just ask a chatbot that is working with AI agents to say, okay, I need to go on a vacation. Please book me this place for 2 days. It
Mm,
would do everything that we had to do by itself.
mm, mm.
That's
But
where
for
actually,
you, yeah, but for you to do that, I mean, I think we can. So this is for everyone who's listening. So this is part one of
yeah,
Agentic AI. So this is today's what we're trying to do is give you an introduction about the whole concept around Agentic AI, and we won't be going too much into the technical depths of it. But this is a question that I just came to my mind. So, if you think of the same example that you took, if I want to to automate that process that you said with Booking.com,
mm,
shouldn't I integrate Booking.com with the agent? Do I need to use APIs for it? Or?
yeah. Actually, we do need, yeah, definitely
Mm,
we do. So
okay.
that's the thing. So right now, for example, ChatGPT and those stuff, they can't call APIs, right? They
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
when we ask a
Mm,
question, they give an answer back.
mm,
But
mm,
but where LLM or ChatGPT becomes agent is when it is given the authority to call
mm,
for call APIs,
right.
and do clicks,
Mm,
searches, all those stuff. So your question was to, should we integrate booking.com?
yeah,
Not
yeah,
necessarily. We just need the API.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just need the API, and we can do the magic
Integrated.
with it. Yeah,
So
integrate
it
it
will
with
be
our
mm,
workflows, and yeah.
it will be like a
So
third party
let's,
service.
yeah, let's technically, last
Yeah.
mention, so in the part two, let's
Mm,
go technically. I won't drop
yeah.
any big technical words in here,
Mm, yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Makes sense. So, Sulakna, I think we covered like a real world application. Now,
yeah.
in our sort of, um, if you think industrial level, do you think we can use this now? I know we talked about it in a very how can I say, a personal use case or an
Yeah.
individual use case, maybe.
Mhm.
If we uh, think of it in an industrial level, maybe there's thousands or millions of users using a single product, right? Let's think of it as an ERP or a
Mhm.
system, whatever system.
Yeah.
Uh, can we use or scale agentic AI up to that amount at the current level we have? Do you think we can do?
At the current level for 1,000 concurrent users, yeah, we definitely can.
Mm-hmm. That would
So
like,
as,
yeah,
yeah,
go
it
ahead.
would need a very uh, very robust load balancing going on. It would need it
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
multiple concurrent users.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we actually can. And for example, for you asked was at industrial, so that would be company within company projects, yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
client projects. Because
Mm,
as I mentioned, we were speaking about clients.
mm,
But inside a company, we can definitely use, for example, let's say if I want, uh, it's agile, like, and if I want to create a task or a backlog,
mm,
in the backlog, we can need to create a
yeah,
task, new task. Like we can
mm,
just ask the LLM through NLP, just
yeah.
create this task and assign the story points that you think would suffice, so it
Mm,
can act as a project manager too,
right, right.
and it will do it. We can do that,
Mm,
yeah.
mm, mm, mm. So that would be very helpful, I think. And in terms of, I mean, again, I think not going too deep into technical stuff, how practical is it now? How accurate would it be, do you think? So for example, let's take the example you mentioned earlier, giving story points to a particular user story, right?
Yeah.
How accurate would it be? How practical is it in the real world scenario?
So sorry, it's my at home there are a little bit of intrusions
It's
going
fine.
on. Yeah. So how accurate? So it depends on the guardrails that we set it, yeah,
Hmm.
and how good, or uh, how much of a, how do I put it? So accuracy actually depends on two stuff. One is the accuracy of the model itself,
Hmm.
because we are using LLM. So in this case, for story points, we'll be using RMs, large reasoning models.
Right.
That's where a brief intro. That's where, let's say, when you ask ChatGPT the question, it would say thinking. Yeah,
Yeah,
you go
thinking.
in, and after a while, it would give the answer. So those are
Mm,
called large reasoning models.
mm,
So we use those stuff actually when we need to reason. For in your case, for setting a story point, it
mm,
would use the LRM, but we can set rules that
yeah.
can act as guardrails so
Mm,
that we can increase accuracy.
mm,
We
mm,
can't
mm.
say it's 100% accurate as a human, because it's not there yet. Like LLMs
Yeah,
are not there, the EQ,
yeah, yeah.
they can't think as humans do yet.
Mm, mm,
It will be,
yeah,
it's theory, it will be coming in the near future.
yeah. With
So
the way it's
it,
going, I think, yeah, it will
yeah,
be there.
yeah. So, AG, IASI, those stuff, it's
Yeah.
it very interesting. So as I mentioned, it depends on the model and the set of
Mm,
guardrails we set it.
mm. And which brings me to my next question. I mean, um, so there's this thing. I mean, you mentioned AGI, right? Is it dangerous now? Brings me to the point. By setting guardrails, I mean, most people have this sort of misconception around agentic AI and all the LLM stuff. Oh, it can do
Yeah,
anything, and it will be very dangerous. It's gonna take our jobs and everything. But I think it comes back to the point you mentioned earlier, Lou. In order for it to be good, I think you need to have separate guardrails, right?
yeah.
Or
We need compliance. We need,
yeah,
yeah,
and there should be the proper governance there. I think AI
yeah.
governance is a
Exactly. AI
different
governance and
topic.
ethical AI is a big,
Yeah,
huge
it's
topics
a
these days going on.
mm, yeah, it's a very different topic.
So yeah,
Deserves its own episode. Uh,
yeah, it deserves.
but
And for
I
your
mean,
question, you asked me about the dangers, like if it's going to be
yeah, mm,
how. Uh, it's not, because
yeah,
here's the thing: we are the ones who are building it. Yeah, we
yeah,
can
yeah,
set the rules we want it. We can ask it to not to do this stuff. So it's like,
right,
let's say, when you are trying to, when you are getting a new candidate into a company, you screen them
yeah,
through, and you
yeah,
screen them, and you reject the ones that you don't see fit. So we can
yeah,
do exact that level of a security layer in front of the agentic AI system, and
mm,
that would screen if I should do this, if
okay,
this should be done. So that's the set of guardrails that we can put.
mm, mm,
So as long as there are proper guardrails and compliance and governance, no, it's
mm,
not dangerous.
yeah. And I mean, before we wrap up, so I'm a software engineer in profession, and
Yeah,
you're going to the data science area. So
yeah,
how so do I how can I say this, like how easy it is for me to build an agentic AI? Do I need to be a data scientist, or is my let's say I'm skilled in Python, right? And is my Python skills enough for me to build an agent?
Actually, you don't need to be a programmer either.
Oh, that's
Just a
that's
normal thing. Yeah, exactly. So, for example, there's this Google Copilot Studio. It's just drag and
right,
drop. It's like, it's, there are blocks. Just need to
right.
drag and drop, then connect this to this. So, let's say you are building something, hotel booking, yeah. You
Okay.
just connect a LLM and you
Yeah.
drag and drop a tool to it, saying, okay, do a search. And that's how you don't need coding. You don't need coding. If with coding, actually, you can make it more optimized, set more rules
Hmm.
and stuff. But
Hmm.
other than you don't need to be a programmer at all. Even a business management student can
Hmm.
build a AI agent. So,
I
for
don't know.
example, that's where the most hype there is actually. It's in
Yeah.
YouTube, right? Where they
Hmm.
say I build app in 10 minutes. That's
Yeah.
AI
Yeah.
agents. They just drag and drop and connect these
Hmm.
tools. It's like build. It's like a blocks actually. Just
Hmm.
build and build and build and build and you have AI agent. You don't need to be a skilled programmer.
I don't know if I should be happy or scared for my life because with the way things
So,
are
for
going.
example, I'll bring this up. You are using Cursor, right?
Yes, we use cursor.
Cursor a lot to build. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I don't use it, but I've heard people use
yeah,
it.
yeah, right. Yeah, sure. So, Cursor is actually a agentic platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Mm,
just
mm,
calls tools in its
yeah.
architecture, in its orchestrator,
Yeah.
and it builds everything and runs the code, check if there's errors. If there's errors, it calls
Mm,
another tool to fix it.
mm.
That's how it
Yeah.
is.
When I haven't used cursor, but I've heard that for the people who use cursor, a lot of as long as you continue the same chat or the conversation, the more you do, the more likely it is to hallucinate. That probability
Yeah,
is there. And even now, let's say, I'm not saying the same scenario would apply, that LLM, since we're using LLMs here, right? There is a certain level of, how can I say,
context.
hallucination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be there. So, will the same apply when it goes to the agents? And yeah, I think that would
Um,
be
it
the
it
question.
actually would. So, like you mentioned, we'll be continuing a chat.
Yeah.
There is only so much that AI agent can remember,
Hmm.
have it so have that on its context.
Yeah.
So we can, we can bypass it by creating workflows, but
Hmm.
there is a level of hallucination. There will still be for like very long. It's comparative. So like say it's the context window. We can set it for more longer than a normal conversation with ChatGPT with agents because we can create tools. We can call tools. Yeah?
Hmm.
We can
Hmm.
call tools, and more importantly, have about this RAG.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can actually build a RAG to create a cache of the memory. So this is some high level stuff. So we
Hmm.
can create a cache of the conversation we had. So when we are asking, we can have a tool to call that
Hmm.
conversation
You.
on our cache and bring it up.
Yeah. Okay.
So hallucination can still happen because it's
Hmm.
LLMs. It's not a
Yeah.
100% accurate. We can guarantee it,
Yeah.
but we can sort of avoid it with
Hmm.
agentic
Hmm.
work, with agentic orchestration.
Hmm. Yeah. So that's a good workaround. You retrieve it from the cache and
Yeah,
get
we
it.
can retrieve from the cache.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, it's almost time limit, and I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah,
So, how we started from what AI agents are and how it's used in a personal scenario, in individual scenario, or also in the industry. Just to wrap it off, and I know there's a huge hype around anything related to AI these
yeah.
days, and
It's like I
there's a
mentioned,
huge
it's mostly FOMO, just fear of missing out.
yes, that thing is there. But in Sri Lanka, what I've noticed is, I mean, you and I, we went to a
Yeah,
conference recently, and what we sort of noticed was that in Sri Lanka, at least, we are still in AI agents. you know. And you mentioned that there's new stuff coming out, MCPs and all different kinds of stuff. And why do you think we are still there, and why do you think there's a huge hype around AI agents, at least in the Sri Lankan system, or
So
even
I would say
global?
it's mostly what I believe is, let's say, in our, like, most of our business or our clients are, what I believe and what I heard is, are in customer service. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
most of the tools, and we give
Yes.
out for customer service.
Mm.
And so AI agents shine very well in these areas because we can automate all these tasks that would require manual people to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's cost cut in there for a company and for the client.
Right.
And for the fact that we are behind is,
Mm.
it's more of an understatement. We are catching up. We are.
Yeah.
It's that we don't have that big of a community
Right.
to see. Yeah, to see that we are catching up, to
Mm.
show that we are catching up. I think that's the biggest issue right now. It's not a big it's building up.
Yeah.
AI community is building up in Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
and I believe that is the reason actually.
Mm. Mm. Brings a very important point, and I think we can continue this in the second part as well. So, for most of our audience is typically undergraduates. So, do you think now an undergraduate, let's say a second year, third year, I know you mentioned that they can just drag and drop stuff and
Yeah.
make anything, right? Um, Even for a software engineering student, or even
Mhm.
an IT student, someone who's in a totally different field, do you think this knowledge of agentic AI and would help them for maybe get an internship or something? Do you think that would help? I mean, with the hype around it, personally, I think it would.
Yeah,
Um,
like I said, it's catching up
hmm,
in Sri Lanka. The projects are catching up, the clients are catching up, the companies are catching up.
hmm,
And for example, you work at IFS too, right? You're at Platinum, but
yeah,
in IFS, there is this IFS AI.
yeah,
I saw this recently where they build agentic. It's mostly focused on agentic part. So when
hmm,
big companies like that start to work on it, definitely there will be openings to work.
hmm,
But the biggest concern I see is, since anybody can build it, I believe if someone has the theory behind how these models work, because
hmm,
when errors come, you need to know where this is happening.
hmm, yeah,
I believe for someone to just do more research than just drag and drop in and creating
hmm,
these so-called AI agents,
yeah,
it will be better to have the working understanding of
yeah,
architecture diagrams, how the workflows work, and Python actually would be a good choice to
hmm,
learn because machine learning, data science is hugely biased to the language.
hmm,
And yeah, for someone who's starting, there will be there the future is coming,
yeah.
and in the future there will be a lot of openings coming up. I believe.
Yeah, it's a very like, I mean, it's a entirely different thing. I mean, when you think of just going into it without no proper understanding, that that's a big risk. One, that's a huge risk. I mean,
Yes.
even for us like software engineers, if we just, that's a different episode I think we can cover. But if we just accept whatever it is that the LLM gives at us, right? The generative code or everything. We don't know what's there. If we just accept and push to production, and that's how problems happen. And so that's a very different topic we can cover. But
Yeah,
you
let's
bring a very
let's
interesting
let's
point.
actually cover it because it's interesting because LLMs actually gaslight us a lot. Have you seen it?
Yeah, they do. They do.
No matter how
They
wrong
gaslight.
you are, it says, Ashan, good job, you did great. This is awesome.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just trying its best
yeah,
and trying to make us happy.
yes,
But
trying to make us.
but yeah, there is issues there. But I think maybe it's just I don't know, some they have fallbacks, right? So if you don't get a proper response, you can fall back to
Yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah.
So we
That's
do that
it's
too. But I mean, yes, brings a lot of questions. I mean, this field is,
Mm.
there's a huge hype around this, and
Yeah.
it's evolving at a rate that we didn't expect. I don't think we have expected this much of exponential growth, but yeah, brings a lot of questions regarding many things. So we can cover all that, and I think we can wrap up for today. That's
Yeah.
it for QuackCast episode 1 from Agentic AI, and like to thank Sulakna for his time.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and
It's always a
we'll see.
pleasure.
Yeah. And we'll see you again. I think we'll see you again in part 2. So part 2
Yeah.
will hopefully be physical, and we'll get to dive a little
Mm.
bit into the technical
Yeah, let's
aspect of
actually
the
build
architecture.
let's actually build the agent there, shall we? That would be
Yeah, we
great.
can
Yeah.
do that.
Let's
If
build that.
yeah, that would be great actually. So they can actually follow through and
Yeah.
yeah, build their own sort of agent.
Yeah.
So we can do that. So stay tuned for QuackCast, and thank you. Thank you, Sulakna, and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye from me.
Definitely.